creative self-expression,
healing through myth and story.
Fearless girls.
self-discovery,
Transforming lives.
wise women, spotlight on girls.
Before you take the first bite of your next meal, ask yourself, why am I eating this?
Think hard and long about the first answer that comes to mind.
Am I really hungry? Am I eating this because I'm sad? Because I'm bored?
Is this food good for me? Do I exercise enough to work off the calories in this food?
How often do we take the time to ask ourselves these questions that determine how healthy we will be? Our show today explores why we eat what we eat.
If, how, and where young people exercise in Newark, and how to eat well, stay healthy, and stay fit in the heart of cities like Newark, New Jersey.
Watch out for the big girl. 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 Watch out for the 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 big girl. Big girl, 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 big girl big girl.
Today we are here with Jasmine Hall Ratliff, Program Officer at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Obesity Team. Hi Jasmine, thank you for joining us. Tell us about the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and the work that you do in combating overweight and obesity.
And specific to childhood obesity, we are looking at changing people's environments, changing their neighborhoods, so that they can access healthy foods and physical activities in a much easier fashion than what is certainly the case in current neighborhoods and urban areas.
Describe the obesity problem girls and women of color face and why your organization calls it an epidemic.
Well, we see it as an epidemic because right now about 1/3 of the children in the United States are overweight or obese. And to put that into hard numbers, we see that as 23 million children. So if you just think about just the sheer number, it's pretty easy to call it an epidemic. Girls and women of color are particularly hit by the obesity epidemic in that we have about 27% of African American girls and women who are overweight and obese as compared to 14.5% for Caucasian women. So almost double the number of African American girls and women are obese. So certainly it's an epidemic nationally just for children in general, but it is of a particular issue within girls and women of color.
What girls and women's obesity prevention problems are specific to cities like Newark?
Like I mentioned, in urban areas, particularly in Newark, there's a problem with being able to get to healthy foods. In a lot of urban areas, you have the little corner stores or the bodegas, and those are all over the place. And they serve chips and candy and alcohol and cigarettes. And if there is fruits or if there are fruits and vegetables, they don't look very appetizing or they're very expensive. So it's a common problem in urban areas to not be able to get to healthy food easily. You might be able to get on a bus to go to the grocery store, but if the grocery store is far away, you'll be on the bus for maybe 2 hours to be able to get there. And so for folks that don't have access to a car, it makes it more difficult. For Newark, we found that Newark residents have to travel a full mile further than folks in other cities to get to a supermarket. Not to the little corner store, but just a good-sized supermarket that has a wide range of fresh fruits and vegetables for folks to be able to eat. The state average is about 8 supermarkets per 100 people. In Newark, you have 2.5 supermarkets per 100 people.
That's a major difference.
Yes.
We are here today with Tony Griffin, who is Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Newark. Welcome, Tony. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Can you tell us about the work you do with the physical design of Newark?
Sure. As Pamela said, I'm the Director of the Division of Planning and Community Development. And basically what that means is that I'm the city planner for the city. City planners are the people who look at the whole landscape of the city, the neighborhoods, the downtown, and they help to determine where certain uses go. So where is housing, where is retail, where are your parks? So the architects design the buildings, landscape architects design the open spaces. The city planner is the person who really works with those folks to figure out where everything goes and where it makes sense to go.
So you have the big picture.
So we have the big picture. Yes. And I know in Newark, for some youth, walking and biking is sometimes not a safe thing to do. So part of what we want to do in planning and what smart growth has to mean for Newark is also dealing with those safety issues, the perception of safety, so that youth do feel comfortable walking to school, walking to their neighborhood grocery store, or biking from one friend's house to another, because those are the ways in which you get exercise. And that's a way to certainly deal with issues of obesity or overweight just by moving around. So we want to make sure planning in Newark, when it means smart growth, means finding ways that people can move around within the city. Well, you know, Newark has always been a city of a lot of different ethnic cultures and diversities, and a lot of those cultures come from places where growing their food or agriculture is a very, important part of their history and who they are. And we all love and know the difference between a fresh strawberry
Absolutely.
and a fresh strawberry that's been sitting in a grocery store for a while. So who wouldn't want to have access to that? And there are ways to do that. Fresh foods don't have to be for the upwardly mobile or middle class. Everyone should have access to a choice of food. As we were talking about before the segment, you should be able to go into a store and have a choice between a Cheeto and
a strawberry.
Right. You should have a much greater range of choices. So we want to try to find as many ways as possible to work with food outlets, whatever they are, to help them increase their access to those choices.
The other key thing in what you said is the fact that these foods are going to be affordable, as opposed to thinking a gourmet kind of thing or organic kind of thing. It really is off the chart for most people. You're finding ways to make food available that is healthy and affordable.
That's especially right. Especially in our farmers markets, we're working with federal and state programs and these farmers. So at the farmers markets, you'll be able to use everything from food stamps and other sort of subsidy programs, as well as cash. And that's the important part of it. Again, it should be anybody and everyone should have access to better choice of food. Yeah. So we'd love to invite students to planning forums that we're doing. We'd love to use access to the center to try to promote more access to city planning and students. And I think us working with the public schools and trying to promote the connection between the physical environment and things we can do to make the environment better, and your choice around produce and healthy living and exercise would be one of the ways I think that we could do that.
Ms. Griffin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
The work you do is amazing, and I thank you on behalf of Newark for the role that you have in designing this city and making certain that it is what we need it to be in order to combat situations like obesity and overweight. So I thank you on many, many counts.
Well, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
And we're on our way, and programs like this are just fabulous. Thank you for having me.
Spotlight on girls. Spotlight on girls.
Spotlight on girls. Spotlight on girls.